Okay.
So, this is day 2 of our, what do you call it? Crusade.
Yeah. Yeah, day 2. Why is it day 2? We was only planning to do one day.
Well, we had to do a school run as well. School run interrupts the day.
Absolutely. And yeah, we're having to. When we viewed what we filmed yesterday, we felt that we didn't investigate enough of the opposite side of the park, Greenwich Park, where the children's area is,
and we want to go into that bookshop.
It's a bookshop. But also where the flower garden is. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go and have a look at the flower garden and the children's area and
see if we can get in.
See if we can get in and see what we experience and just record what we see. Yeah, that's kind of why we're doing the second day, and we discussed it and we think it's worth coming back down to Greenwich to do that. So
it's always worth going to Greenwich.
Oh, absolutely.
Even when it's been invaded by Olympics.
There's one thing that anybody that is watching this YouTube video, if you are going to Greenwich Park and you can't go to Greenwich Park, an alternative is Charlton Park, which is what I forgot to mention.
Which is where we went yesterday.
Which is where we went yesterday. So if you watch earlier on in the film, we was in Charlton Park, and it's a lovely park. It's big, and it's a very good alternative to Greenwich Park. Not that there should be an alternative to Greenwich Park, but it is good. So I highly recommend, like I did earlier, go to Charlton Park and have your picnic there and do whatever you want to do that you would normally do in Greenwich Park.
Yeah.
Obviously for Greenwich residents, it's a little bit further because you might have to get a bus or have to walk. But it's still a park, and it's still a day out, and it's still ours. It's our park. It's people's park.
Yeah, it hasn't been invaded.
There's lots of things to go and see. There's Charlton House. There is amazing wildlife and trees. I think there was a sports track there at some point. Lots of people doing different things. So yeah, go to Charlton Park. There is an alternative to Greenwich Park. So, please peace out, and we catch up with you when we arrive at Greenwich Park.
Over and out. Okay, we're on.
Yeah, we just arrived in Greenwich and just making our way down to the park to do the rest of the documentary. One of the things that we have noticed is that when you actually come into Greenwich, and the main part of Greenwich, which is the main high street, which is here, we have the church here, and we've got the high street stepped out. Just step out. There is no actual advertisement of the Olympics in the main part of Greenwich, because this is the high road here. And you actually wouldn't know that there is the Olympics on. When we're looking at the signs, they're advertising different things. This is advertising.
I don't know if we'll be able to see that because the sun's right in front of me.
This one is the Royal Observatory. That one is, church. But there are we can't see any signs at all of advertising the Olympics. So being that this is an Olympic arena or event that's going to take place in Greenwich, there is no advertisement. I can see. There are some flags up, but that could have been for the
Jubilee.
It could have been. I wouldn't have thought it would have been for the football, but it could have been for the football. There's only really these flags, and it doesn't actually indicate that it's Olympics. So yeah, there is no advertisement saying that the Olympics is on in the park around the corner. That's just kind of interesting. So we're going to move on. We're going to come back to you in a second.
I think it's also worth noting today, if you have a look up there, they are trying to spray us today They are trying very hard, and they are failing, because if you look, that trail is disappearing.
Yeah, and if you look at any YouTube videos of chemtrailers, you'll see that chemtrailers leave their trail and then it turns into cloud. So basically makes everywhere misty and hazy. But this one isn't doing that. So we're not sure quite what's happening, why they're not taking, but they're not taking today. So that's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Just another point of interest. We were told yesterday when we were walking through on the path between the buildings and that big fence that people weren't actually going to be walking on that path. They were going to be walking, they were going to be herded on the road. So begs the question, well, why have they put that fence up? If people are walking in the road, then why have they put the fence up in the first place? It just seems a little bit unnecessary, you know. Why? This is really, really odd why they're doing that.
I think the only reason they could be using so much fencing is taking recommendation from a fencing company, because obviously the more fencing
the more expensive it is.
The more expensive it will be. So
yeah, it's money.
The thing about fencing is that in this country we've had a problem with fencing because of Hillsborough. So Hillsborough has always caused a problem. If you enclose people in fencing, the health and safety issues are pretty high. You've got to get, I think the capacity of the stadium is going to be 23,000, so you've got to evacuate 23,000 people from that stadium at different routes. And if you've got fencing, so although it keeps people out, at the same time it keeps people in. So if there is an emergency, which we've had that certain football grounds, like highlight Hillsborough as one example in relation to fencing. Also Bradford, where they had a fire at Bradford, that fencing is not a good idea. So although it seems like a good idea,
defeats the object, doesn't
if
it?
there isn't a serious emergency here, then fencing could be a problem. I'm not saying it will be, but it might
be, yeah.
So anyway, we're going to make our way up to the main gate.
So yeah, we're making our way up to the main gate, and then, well, try and hang a left to walk along the walkway that goes behind the Maritime Museum and in front of the park.
As you can see, the sun's out.
Beautiful sun today. Hopefully there'll be no deluge of rain today.
As you can see, there's lots of official people coming down with tags on that allows them into restricted areas.
Yeah.
Obviously, to be anybody around here, you have to wear
a fluorescent jacket, and that guy even said yesterday when we walked through the last bit of Woolwich, he said, because you're not wearing your fluorescent jacket, I'm not wearing mine either, never mind. So yeah, you have to wear a fluorescent jacket if you are somebody.
So come out to the main gate. There is no access at this main gate.
No, you cannot get through those gates. Those gates are shut.
As you can see, there is a number of people milling around with hard hats.
Gates are
shut. What we've established is that could be anybody. It's not necessarily builders, but it could. And we had a group of police go in there yesterday that were observing the site and obviously being taken round for the security of the site. So yeah, anybody with a hard hat, and it could be anybody. So anyway, we're going to walk and observe. Walk up.
How is the park? You can't even feel it.
This is kind of all new. And it's recently been built. It's just come out of
The park is closed.
Yeah, this is all recently new. So if you can remember, you see how the fencing continues here.
That's not the main fence, that's a temporary fence, isn't it? The main fence is up there,
And as you
because
can
it's
see,
electrified.
we've got like groups of schools coming down wanting to access the park. They're not able
Yeah.
to access the park.
That's right.
Obviously they're all disappointed.
Yeah.
I've just heard. So anyway, we carry on walking. Hard at work, guys. As I say, I love trees. We just look at that wonderfully beautiful tree
That's a plane.
that's just beyond the fence. This is the thing that I'm always trying to highlight, that a corporate company is coming in and using the park, this is the people's park, and not only they're using the park, they're stopping me from going and touching that tree. I have a right to go and touch that tree. At this time, I cannot go and touch that tree. That's not a big thing to some people. To me, it is. I have a right to touch that tree. So, whether you think that's right or whether you think that's wrong, for me personally, I'd like to touch that tree. I'm being stopped from touching that tree. And also, it's intimidating. You've got lots of people walking around with yellow jackets, lots of official stuff on. It makes you feel quite uncomfortable in the people's park. But when you come to a park, you're supposed to feel
Relaxed.
relaxed. And this isn't relaxing. This is really...
Right, I just want to get a close-up of this fencing, because this is a fencing that's going to be electrified. Why they're electrifying it, I do not know.
We believe these are going to be electrified. We're not 100% sure.
Well, that's what the guy said the other day when we asked.
Well, we're not 100% sure whether this is going to be electrified. We're going to try and establish today, it's another thing that we discussed last night, whether these things are going to be electrified, because they are not marked. So that's another thing that we're going to try and do. So, we're going to carry on walking down. It is really cool. Didn't say that last time I was there. Chips in a bottle.
No.
Vamos a un museo marítimo. Pero ahí decía...
Gonna wander up.
That's really cool. I just want to get a close-up of that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's amazing. How did they get it in the bottle here?
But they dropped the things.
I
down.
know. I was being trying to be funny. Didn't work, did it?
So, I mean, we've got a variety of different plants.
Yeah.
Botanical plants all the way along this bank, which they planted. I think that's more recent.
Yeah.
So it really is beautiful. It's such an amazing. And it is intrusive. Get a shot of the stadium.
Yeah, I'm just going to sign off for a minute. I've just got to adjust my bag. It's hurting my shoulder. You're on.
Yeah, so we continue walking up. We're going to try and give you an
Okay,
idea of the
yeah.
size of the
How big that is.
stadium here. So we can
This
walk
is
up.
this is the. I'm not sure if this. Well, there is only one stadium, isn't there? This was the stadium that was originally on wooden blocks that had to be rethought out because of all the rain. The rain was flooding the area and making it unsafe. So, yeah, it's immense. And I would not like to be sat up there, you know, that's quite mad, knowing that there was a problem with the safety of the stand. No, thank you.
Another,
Oh, yeah,
see another chemtrail come on.
here it comes, look.
The chemtrail that's coming over.
Yeah,
The issue of the main chemtrail is quite well documented. It's what we'll highlight that. Okay? They are trying to chemtrail today. But yeah, then carry on walking through. Just look.
She's really making my arm ache today, and I don't know why. Okay. Right up your nose there, darling. My arm ache. Can't hear what you're saying.
I'm saying I'm not sure if that's where we got to go or whether that's where we got to go.
Well, it says pedestrians that way and that way, so that way. Thank you. Thank you, kind man.
So yeah, there's another shot of the stadium before we leave it. It's a huge,
Massive,
piece of
massive,
construction.
massive.
Quite impressive. I'm sure it's,
Who's going to be sat up there in that seat?
well, probably nobody there has a fear of heights.
Well, that's the cheap seats, isn't it, right at the back? So it'd be someone who couldn't afford a seat at the front. That's a massive screen. Wow.
Thank you.
That's
it's
going to be a screen.
Another TV.
Yeah.
TV.
Wow. That's
Pretty massive.
huge screen.
If we take a shot of the screen, we can actually also see the chemtrail on the trail there. So
Yeah.
That's why they're called chemtrails.
So there's the screen. Zoom into the chemtrail. There we go. It's going up. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And it disappears. So I don't know where it's gone. What does that say?
So yeah, the sign says the museum's grounds are now closed, no exit. So although they haven't closed the museum itself, the actual grounds are being used.
Yeah.
So just
Thank you.
yeah, the grounds are actually closed.
So how do we get round then?
Yeah, there is actually access.
Oh yeah, we can go that way.
We'll have a shot of the ground.
Thank you.
And as you can see,
Crazy, look at it.
this is basically what the grounds are going to look like.
Yeah.
Not sure what that's going to be used for. Yeah.
Looks a bit elite-y to me. Looks a bit pushery.
Which grounds, because this is part of the People's Park, are used all the time for people, kind of just socialising.
Yeah.
Kind of people will sit on the grass just to have a rest after looking around the museum. And yeah, that's taken away as well. So there isn't actually, in this area, any green areas.
No.
As I say, we're walking down to the children's park just to observe what is actually open, because they are saying that it's open. You can actually see a better view of the stadium. Then we can walk that way.
Madness. Pure madness.
So we can walk through. The Royal Observatory, it says here, the Royal Observatory is currently closed. Never noticed.
Bearing in mind that originally they said the observatory would be closed from the end of July, so they changed that. They moved the goalposts.
I think also that it's closed, and if you are a tourist and you've booked a holiday here,
Yeah.
and you want to go to the observatory, yeah, it's disappointing for a tourist, but it is that kind of attitude that, well, it is the Olympics. Well, why should a big corporate company like the Olympics come and close everything within your local community?
Yeah. What gives them the right to do that?
So,
Sorry guys, I'm just adjusting to adjust my bag. For some reason this is making my arm ache today. It didn't make my arm ache yesterday.
So yeah, that's the stadium. This is the museum, beautiful museum, Queen's House. It can be officially her house, because it is the royal house. Quite beautiful. You can actually see the observatory above the stadium. We've still got a lot of work to do. Doesn't seem like we've got all the seats in.
No. Well, the reason that they haven't is because they're behind schedule because of what happened with the rain and the stadium being made unsafe. Because they only put the stadium resting on wooden blocks.
Where did you read that? The stadium was unsafe. What was the actual website?
That's actually from LOCOG, because they had to rejig their schedule, which was then picked up by NoGo.
So
it was LOCOG who had to rejig their schedule because they obviously had to make it safe.
Okay. So that's quite a good source of
yeah.
So you can see more fencing.
Yeah, here we go. My arm really aches
restrictions.
today. Bloody hell. Can't do it the other side.
Yeah, and it is like a magic industry,
It is, it's like diversions all over the place just to get round.
So the next entrance, that's Greenwich Park. I don't know what this is. Oh yeah. This is here.
I think it'll be a camera point or something.
Ah, right, yeah.
Alright. Whee!
Okay.
Thank you. So how do we get round to...
So this is the next entrance to the children's park. I'm not sure where I was going to ask, but I think we're going to find out ourselves. We're going to go and try and find the entrance to, because this is the entrance to the children's park.
Yeah.
So we're going to walk up and see if we can find it, rather than asking, because that's the easy way. So let's hang on a minute. So yeah, we're just carrying on here. I'm not aware of any entrances here, apart from up on the side, but that's up on the hill.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure where I'm going. I'll wait for these days to take a photograph. As people do when they're on holiday.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's alright.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
Sun's out today.
It's so lovely.
Yeah, just for you guys. Yeah, so walking up, there's quite nice areas, housing and stuff. So we've been forced basically out of the park at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the exit back into the park, and this would be an exit here. Sorry, an entrance.
No, it's someone's garden by the looks of it.
So, okay, obviously you don't want to watch us walking around the park. We're going to go and find
An entrance.
an entrance. So, Yogi, please, peace out. We're going to come back in a minute.
You're on.
Right, okay, so we found the entrance to the playground. So there's like a little notice. I haven't spent too much money on this notice because it's just unlike the other notices, like these ones, which is being damaged.
Yeah, and I don't blame the people for damaging it, to be honest.
Well, I wouldn't advocate that, but yeah, it's been
Yeah,
damaged.
well, I would. I think we should write shame all over it.
It's, again, on the literature, it says the children's playground and parts of the flower something remain
Garden
open,
will
except
remain
for
open.
The cross-country date on the 3rd. So it won't be open on that. We've had a look. We've got the road closed here, so another road that's closed off. Not fully, because I think it's made into a one-way. But part of this place. So we're looking to the park. It's out of interest.
Yeah, where is the flower garden?
This is the park, and we are. Where are we?
What did I do to my fingers?
Blackheath Gate. So we're in the bottom here.
It hurt.
We're here, and we're going to make our way up. It's Maze Hill, and we've walked from King William statue to here. So this is the part of the park that's going to allegedly be open. We're going to have a look, see if it is open. We've got another sign which is 7th of July to the 4th of August, access to the playground only, so that's from the 7th of July to the 4th of August. Please note, no through route, no dogs allowed. Thank you for your cooperation. So actually, there are no dogs allowed in the children's park, which that makes sense because
Yeah, that's normal practice.
that's normal practice. But we'll see if there's no dogs allowed in the.
So you can't actually get down that way because there is one of the
Closed.
famous
Yeah.
blue fences.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
That's all right.
And as you can see, lots of children.
Well, I would pan in on it, but
Yeah, I would actually pan away from the children though, because you haven't got permission.
and then this way. Do you know you could actually get round through there? Ian? You could actually get through there. Because there's a
Okay.
gap.
Yeah, there's a gap. I suppose we could walk up, don't we? Walk up there. Yeah, you can actually get through the first bit, so we'll walk up, but you couldn't get through the second bit.
Ah, it's double fenced.
So as you can see,
Double layer fencing.
once again,
Children's park is open.
Yeah, we won't feel too much on the children because we haven't got their permission, so we're just going to keep it over with. But we're just going to pan across. We'll just pan across quickly.
See
And
the
thing
blue
about
fencing all the way
The thing
around.
about it is the trees. It's a children's playground with lots of trees, and the energy is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But it's surrounded by these fences, and they're so
Blue
oppressive, in my opinion.
Blue fencing.
You know, all sorts of people use this playground. You know, different ethnic groups, different cultural groups, different people with disabilities, all sorts of things. So, and look, they're just having a good time.
Yeah.
And yet we come across.
Nice blue fencing.
I think that they are taking it right to the limit.
Yeah, they have.
I think they've gone beyond. Yeah, they've gone rather than put it because the children's playground is usually surrounded with a hedge.
Yeah,
And on the other side is where
can
we usually do our yoga in the park.
yeah.
But they've decided to put the fences this side of the hedging and not
Yeah.
the other side. That might be a technical. But yeah, we were considering walking up there, but we can see that
If
there's
you
another
look,
fence.
there's
beyond
more
it. So
blue
that is
fencing.
all blocked off.
Let me just get a clear photo of that. Through the gap. So if you look, it's completely blocked off there. Cannot get down there at all.
So yeah, we're gonna stop so we can find the flower garden. So that's open. So the sign is correct. It says that the children's play area will be open, and it is open. And actually, I think they've done a little bit of work on it. Actually, looks like it's had some work on it.
Well, they will, won't they? It can't look shoddy for the Olympics, darling.
Yeah. So that's quite nice for.
I'm just going to get a shot as well over the top to the stands. So I'm going to zoom in. There's the stands. Except it won't quite focus on that bit because it's got the fence in the way. But that is the stands there. And they go all the way along either side.
So anyway, we're going to stop filming and we're going to go up to the flower garden and we're going to see what kind of access is there. So yogi, please out.
Yogi, please out. Just another quick point of interest. So how much wildlife is this Olympics going to drive out of the park? it's going to have an effect on the wildlife in the park. There's no question. Surely.
Yeah, well, no one can actually say what the effects would be until until a few years passes. And it will have some effects. As I say, I've said before that I'm sure part of the team is environmentalists. They will look at how to bring, if there is any damage to the park, or if there is any any.
But the thing is, Ian, they've already damaged the trees. They've cut down trees. They've chopped back trees. So do they really care about the damage to the park?
Well, it's debatable, isn't it? It's debatable whether they do care or whether they don't care, and that's.
I'm being deliberately antagonistic, by the way.
But that's what we're here to record. So I don't think it's a question of whether they care about the park. The point of why we're here is that we care about the park, and people that work in the park and people that come to the park who call it the People's Park care about the park. So that is what we're doing here today. Whether they care about it or whether they don't care about it, to me, isn't really the question. The question is the people that do care about it are being stopped from going in the park. I think I'll rest my case there. You can't. How can I say that a corporate company cares about the park? I can't. I don't know. All I hope is that they promise to put in a package which will restore the park if there's any damage back to its original state, and also to leave a legacy and also enhance it. And we can only wait and see if that happens. So, do they care about the park? At time will tell. That's how I can answer that question.
Okay. You're not sitting on the fence, are you? Pardon the pun. There's lots of fencing around. I had to get that one in.
Well, with so much fencing around, I am probably sitting on the fence. So yeah, we are going to make our way up to the flower garden.
Right, yeah, we're going to see if we can find a way in. Yogi police out. Or not.
Just over next to it. You got the dogs in the park? It says no dogs on.
Yeah, you can't get in. They've blocked it all off. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're just making a video of restrictions around the park.
It's crazy, isn't
The only
it?
reason we said that we're not telling you.
Yeah, no, I
we're just
understand.
observing
Yeah.
who's allowed in the park. And basically, because I don't know if it's an interest for you. Basically, some people are allowed in the park, children and for example, but it seems like a ban on animals.
Yeah.
So no dogs in the park.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. We're going to go up and have a look at the flower garden.
Yeah.
You might be alright out there.
But it's not just there. So my daughter's a champion rower. She's a junior.
Oh, cool.
And where she rows, they've just shut the dock where she trains. And they've said,
Really?
no, because the millionaires have hired it out for their yachts to come in.
Oh
So for 5
my
weeks, she can't train. She's got the national championships coming up. So in
And
the
that's
name of
really
sport,
good.
they've banned all the rowers there from training.
That's really going to affect
Yeah.
it.
And then when we spoke to them about it, they said, they're tough. Like, we're doing it. That's
Really?
it. Yeah. You didn't even give us and they gave us 3 days notice.
Sorry.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
typical, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's going to go to the next games as well in Rio.
Yeah.
They're all here, but they don't care what happens there as long as they're making money and they look to be doing the thing right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's sickening.
It's all very strange what's going on.
It is. It's
Yeah.
very peculiar. We're trying to get our head around it. As I say, it's just kind of looking at the access, and it's just interesting that you have dogs.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
read
yeah.
that no dogs allowed. So
Yeah.
because it's the People's Park, so everyone walks their dogs in this.
I know a lot of people are upset about what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, they love the Olympic thing, but the way it's their attitude as well.
Yeah.
People have gone to walk in here and the security guy's gone, no.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't explain what I said, no. You're not coming in, it's like,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
It's very restrictive, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And
the way
intimidating
they're
as well.
behaving is the point.
Yeah, you kind of sort of want to go home, sort of go home and say, how can I actually get into that park with
Yeah.
some literature or, because
Yeah.
it's the People's Park, it's my park.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm allowed
yeah.
in it.
Yeah, but they've done the same with Victoria Park in East London as well, which is the stadium. It's
Oh, right.
shut it down completely. 2
In
days
Hyde
ago.
Park.
Really?
Yeah, just can't go there. Just can't go in there. So,
Which park is that, Victoria Park?
Victoria Park,
Yeah,
in
I know.
Hackney, Just shut it down. Said no, you can't come in. That's it.
So what will you do? Will you go up to the top or just go
Probably
back
walk
home?
around, just go around the block
Yeah.
or so. These are like my dogs actually. It's just I work down the road and people who've got them leave them all day in the flat, and I feel sorry for them. So I take them all.
You're a cool guy.
Yeah.
I'm an animal lover, so I don't like.
Yeah.
true.
No. It's
They didn't realise what they'd bought. You know, they were office workers. They're out all day thinking the dogs will be all right. in the
people
flat,
don't, do they? They don't realise that dogs need to be walked.
Yeah, flat. He needs exercise.
He needs
Yeah.
to up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to park.
So we have to walk further. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to meet you. though.
Thank you.
Right. So yeah, there. It's just a really friendly guy. It's just, you know, it's not about facts or, you know, who's right and who's wrong. It's just observing
How people feel about it all.
you know, how people feel about it.
I think feelings are running quite strong.
So yeah, I think we're gonna camp now. We're gonna walk because it's quite a way up.
Okay.
And we'll come back to you.
Alright, Yogi, please out.
Peace out.
Hang on, you're on.
A little bit out of breath because I'm walking up this hill. Another one of the things that is intrusive is these helicopters. And you know, I don't know what they're called.
That's a Chinook.
Chinook. And they're always going over.
Well, we've been buzzed quite a lot in Dartford with really low flying
Dartford.
helicopters.
Kingsmead, Woolwich.
When we were at Gay Pride the other day, there were a couple of them, weren't there?
But yeah, that's really intrusive. So not
They
only
keep
have-
buzzing us.
Not only have you got the fences that stop people going
The
up,
fences, the security
We've also
guards,
got
the
helicopters flying
cameras.
so it really creates. It's not really creating the feeling of celebration,
No,
euphoria.
it's oppression.
It's creating the feeling of feeling oppressed, feeling that there could be a serious problem at any time.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure that that's.
it's that fear, isn't it? It's that fear that something's going to happen. That's why they're all there.
So I'm not sure that, you know, what that is, because there's nothing. Usually, like for example, if you go to the circus, there's a feeling of, you know, you're going to the circus, you get there, and everybody's welcoming. You know, you come into the tent,
Yeah.
things going on, people juggling, and there's a fun element to it. This is not a fun element to it. This is almost like an occupation of military force.
Of a huge corporate organisation.
And you know, nobody's allowed to say anything. And people that, you know, everybody seems to kind of want to say, yeah, we're all for it. There it is.
Yeah.
Just interrupting now. I'm trying to speak over it. But I don't know what it's doing. It's right around.
Well, that's the military that they're bringing into London for the Olympic Games. Why they need the military? Because the police aren't involved, allegedly, are they, in organising and controlling the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I don't know if it's observing us, but you know,
Hi!
as far as we're concerned, we're just tourists. But as it's this feeling again, anybody is a possible terrorist.
Everyone is a potential terrorist.
The government is concerned, and I am not a terrorist. I am a citizen.
Concerned
of the world.
citizen, yeah.
And I love the world. I love people. I love cities. I love the country. I understand the balance between everything, and it's oppressive. So yeah, we're going to carry on walking up because I'm just got my breath back. So peace out.
Yogi, please out.
Yeah,
You're on.
still walking up the hill. I just kind of wanted to highlight this again.
You just want to catch your breath, don't you?
The thing about trees and how amazing they are. We're walking up the hill. Look at this wonderful canopy that the trees are creating, coming out of Greenwich Park. Creating this. That's the park. And it's just so beautiful. Yeah, and I just want to stop and let you experience that. But it's from there. It goes
Yeah.
up.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're going to come back to you in a minute. Next gate that we come up to, obviously, has been
Like
vandalised.
this.
Um,
Vandalism. Yes, they are vandalising the park.
As you can see, it says vandals, and they haven't actually vandalised the actual piece of literature. they've actually made a point and actually written on it. I'm not sure what notice fun is. Oh, and here, it's kind of a pun. It says notice fun. If you look in the park, there's nothing happening, so there is no fun in there. So that's quite clever. But yeah, padlocks. There's a nice padlock on the gate. I think we're getting somewhere close to the gardens. That's an application, so let's read that.
Oh, what is that?
Any person wishes to make representation.
What's it
Proposed
for?
development in this park. Black keeper in.
Oh,
So that's the notice of application. Royal Borough of Greenwich. So that is an actual application. Mike Cowell's Assistant Director. That's an application to, I think, the local authority, because it's got the Royal Borough
Borough of Greenwich.
Town and Country Planning Acts. So these are all the things that they have to ask for in relation to what they're doing. This is only locally. This isn't actually what I was actually looking for, which was the permission from the Secretary of State.
Yeah.
The local authority doesn't.
Because that is only notice of planning application. That is not the actual permission, is it?
Well, when we've read literature around the park.
Because we did that for Yogi Police,
Yeah.
because we were doing yoga in the
And
park.
what you can do in parks and what you can't do in parks. And one of the things that, if you are planning to do anything in the park, you do have to have written permission from the Secretary of State. So it's not an actual physical person, although there is a Secretary of State, it's actually a ministry. So, for example, if you wanted to have a wedding in the park, or erect a tent or something like that, you would have to have a permission on that ministry. You have to have it written in that ministry. And that's the Secretary of State. So, yeah, we're walking up and we can see that these amazing trees. This is all blocked off, more fencing. So many varieties of trees. I wish I had what are they called? Arborists? Is it arborists?
Arborist.
And botanists
Or
here with me,
botanist,
because they can
yeah.
actually name these trees for you. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I'm not that clever. But yeah,
That's not being clever, that's just knowledge, isn't it?
we're going to carry on walking up. So we're going to cut off again. Sorry to keep cutting off, but we don't want to get as much down for you as possible. So yeah, we'll see you in a second.
Yogi Police out. You're on. Get your breath.
Andrew shows you that hill we just gone.
That's the hill.
Just come like that.
Whee!
Come to the second gate. That's the second gate. Here. We'll have a look at it. Is it open? This one is not padlocked, but it's... Oh, it is padlocked. There's a
Padlock that
there.
side. Right.
Notice up. I think I wanted to highlight again was
Fun.
what I was saying the other day, that is a requirement of a corporate company when applying for planning permission, that any legislation that they receive, they put them on fences.
Yeah.
This is one to the local authority, as it says Royal Borough of Greenwich. No, it's a planning application, and it's got the Town Hall County Planning Act 1999. And they've done, that's right, that's what they should be doing. They should be putting it on the fences so people like me can go around and say, oh yeah, they've done that correctly and they've done that properly. But there isn't one from the Secretary of State or the Ministry to say that they
have
can actually
permission.
work in that park. And it says in their own literature that they have to ask the Secretary of State to be able to go into this park and erect buildings, etc. etc. That literature isn't there. And that's kind of what my question is. So that's the second gate. It's padlocked.
It's closed.
We're now going to move on. So Yogi Police out and we come back in a second. Right, well, so
Right, you're on.
Fairly funny the entrance. I was going to say exit. I'm so used to exits.
Yeah.
Finally found the entrance. As you can say, as you can see,
This is Blackheath where we walked
Blackheath.
yesterday.
So the actual entrance for anybody that wants to come to the park, or what's left open of the park, is actually you go up to Blackheath. That's guys.
Hello, Buffy.
Yeah, if you want to get this entrance, and I recommend everybody come. Let's use the park, the bit that's open.
Yeah.
Let's use
Everyone,
that bit.
let's ram
make it
into
a
the
health and
park. The
safety
only bit
issue.
that's open.
Londoners, come and use this park, and let's go in the bit that we can use.
Yeah.
Because it's our park, we have some of it open. Let's go and use it. This is the bit that we've found open, so we're going to go in.
There we go.
Signs, so we have the usual signs, like when things are open and when they're thing.
Oh, that's interesting. It's got a
No entry.
No
access
entry
to flat.
sign there.
This will actually be closed during a one-day event. I think that's cross country.
Yeah, it does say cross country day on the 30th of July.
So that's quite right. So we're going to wander.
Yep. Yes, sir. Still no dogs allowed.
So this is Vanbrugh
Park Gate.
Pedestrians have priority considerate cycling permitted. Cycling allowed only on the side of the park. So yeah, we're going to walk in. More fencing.
Fence.
Again, on a amazing street. Absolutely beautiful.
And pigeon. There's a pigeon.
So yeah, we're just going to walk as we just observed that. We're reinforcing that dogs are not allowed.
Yeah.
Well, this is the flower garden.
You can't even get to most of it.
We have the fencing. We've got, it's not all the flower garden open, because that is the flower garden, and there is a beautiful tree, which I think is these trees here, which I call them Robin Hood trees, because you can actually sit under them and you feel like you're Robin Hood. And it's just wonderful for children. But now we have fencing blocking outside on the garden. So that's actually not a true statement on the notices.
No, that the flower garden is open.
Okay. All of the flower garden is open, but only some of it, or what they deem is right for us to do.
Yeah, where they will permit us to go. But just out of interest, these are quite nice. These are quite pretty. Don't know what they are. Again, if anyone knows what these are, they're beautiful.
I think they're lupins, aren't they?
I have no idea.
But yeah, just more fencing. Guys, you know, using the park, it should be used, riding bikes.
Look, pigeons are allowed in there, look. There's no restriction for pigeons. Hello, pigeon.
But yeah, it's
Having a rest.
It's stopping us from actually touching
Hello.
these wonderful trees. When
He's happy.
Up and looks at these trees.
Yeah, sorry, I want to stop looking at the pigeon.
These are amazing trees.
They are,
I
aren't
recommend
they?
anybody come to Greenwich Park, come and see these trees, come and support this park, because these are amazing trees. The energy here is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely wonderful. And it is disgusting to be told that the flower garden is open, and it's not. There's only some of it that's open, and it's
Yeah.
expensive.
It's access.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Call it access.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Not when it's our park. Absolutely not.
Squirrel.
And we have look, this is the kind of wildlife
Oh,
that we
where's
have
he going? Oh, he's gone.
in this park.
Yeah.
Squirrels. The children, families come and feed squirrels
Look,
here.
is that?
Yeah.
Hello.
I haven't got anything for you today. I haven't got anything.
Hello. You're not having ginger nuts, I'll tell you that now, little squirrel.
I haven't, but you are beautiful.
Hello.
You are absolutely beautiful.
Hello. He likes the camera. He's not shy at
I'm
all.
not shy.
Hello.
Yeah, and this is kind of
He's off. You got no food for me? Oh, I'm off.
this is kind of the thing about Greenwich Park,
as well.
because people come and feed squirrels. They're
Yeah.
very tame.
Yeah.
Which is really unusual for most parks, because not in every park people feed the squirrels. But it's a very family tradition here to come
Yeah.
and feed the squirrels. And you come and see the deer.
Yeah, see, when I was a kid, you'd go and feed the ducks because we didn't have squirrels like that
Absolutely.
in Horsham Park.
Guy with a skateboard there. I don't know if he's allowed to skateboard or not. But
Probably not. If you're not allowed to bring your
it's
dogs in.
unusual in the park. It's But yeah, this is...
And that's double fenced now, look.
It's a double fence, but this is actually... This here, I just want to highlight that this is actually the flower garden, because there is a perimeter fence which goes around the flower garden. And
Yeah.
it is over here. And I think, if I'm right, there should be a path that goes somewhere around there. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. But yeah, double fencing. That's unusual. Oh, it's not double fencing. Yeah,
That's just weird, isn't it? Double fenced part of the way.
Another, you know, I'm sorry to keep going on about trees,
Wow, look
but
at that.
this is
That's
an
amazing.
amazing tree. And I can't touch it. I can't, you know, interact with it. And I want to, because that's the way that I am. I can look at it, but there is a big fence in my way to getting near that tree. And trees are healers. You can you can stand next to a tree and it will give you energy, it will give you loving energy. And that is a magnificent example of the tree in Greenwich. It's absolutely beautiful. And
canopy
there
on
are many
that.
trees like this.
There you go, guys. That's the canopy of this
And that's
beautiful tree.
why it's a travesty to allow any corporate company to come in here and say, well, yeah, we're going to...
Sorry, you're not allowed to go in there anymore.
We're going to put an event and we're not going to damage the trees. You know, it's an awful risk that you're going to take.
Yeah.
Because if they take an, you know, accidents happen, and if you get a tree like this, you can just pan up again, because it's just magnificent.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about. It's not about my words. It really isn't about my words. It's about this and these trees and the surrounding wildlife and hedges and all sorts of things. Wood hedges.
And let's face it, these things have been here long before we have. What gives us the right to say, no, sorry, you know, we're going to chop you down now. You're in the way.
But yeah, we can carry on from there. We've still got the fencing. I don't know where it's going to take us.
I don't know if it comes to a dead end. Well, if there is no other entrance to the park, then you must have to double back on yourself. So it doesn't go anywhere, does it?
We're walking along. Another squirrel. Hi. Hello. I haven't got anything for you.
Hello, Buffalo.
As you can see,
Hello.
here's my nuts.
No, you're not having my foot. Hello.
So, yeah, this is... And also...
Are you pointing at me? Are you pointing at me? What have you got? Have you got anything? So, have you got anything? Have you got anything? Yeah. Oh, another one.
Yeah,
Disappointed. No food. No
Yeah.
food. Well, not a peanut anywhere to be seen.
this is one of the things
Oh, bless them.
the park is about. This.
Oh, mine, there's another one behind you.
And actually, because they're not getting the tourists, because, you know, obviously this is at the Vanbrugh entrance.
Yeah.
Not everyone is walking up, so they're not getting the volume of... So it may well affect the squirrel population. I'm sure, fingers crossed, I'm sure that the environmentalists who are part of this park will keep them fed.
The problem is, though, babe, they're the ones that have let this happen.
So, anyway, we're coming into the end of the fence, so I think we're going to follow the fence.
We can follow the fence round and then see
Just
what's
to show
around
you
there.
how much of it's fenced off. So if we just take a shot down, we walk down the shot.
Hello, pigeon.
Just to show you how beautiful Green Park is. And how open it is. And this is what Green Park is about. It's about open spaces. It's about people using the park. It's also why it's called Green Park. Everybody uses it. And it's such amazing trees within this park. Now, on a normal day, this park would be absolutely chock-a-block.
Yeah.
People, when I say chock-a-block, I don't mean, you know,
Wall-to-wall people.
wall-to-wall people. I just
But there's always people
using
in
the
Greenwich Park.
And
Always.
I've never seen it like this. There is
No.
nothing in this park apart from a few residents and it's basically empty, really.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I say, it's not about us, the yogi tree. It's about highlighting...
That's an oak. Look at
That's
that.
an amazing tree. So, you know, kudos
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature, but also kudos to people that, you know, tend to the park on a regular basis.
These squirrels, look, they're coming. They're coming, they're closing in.
They're obviously hungry. There is no one here.
They come. What have you got? What have you got? Hello. You're bounding over. Look at you. Oh.
So yeah, what we could highlight is, yeah, I think if anybody watches YouTube video, get down to Greenwich
The flower
Park,
garden
get
in
into
Greenwich
the flower
Park.
garden. These squirrels need feeding. They're
Yes,
hungry.
they are starving hungry.
There's no one here. There's no one
Yeah.
here to feed them. Look, we're being surrounded by squirrels, and usually when you come to Greenwich Park, it's quite hard to, you know, there's lots of people. You know, you'll have one squirrel and about
Yeah,
10
30 people trying to feed
trying
the
to
squirrel.
Feed the squirrel. And
Yeah.
There's no one here. So look, we're going to stop for a while. We're going to walk round to the other entrance. If we see anything that we want to show you, we will do. So we're just going to stop for a while because the only reason we're going to stop is because we're running out of
Battery, yeah, it's battery power.
So we're going to stop and see what else we can find for you to see in this wonderful flower garden.
Yogi, police out.
Greenwich Park is
The deer,
it's
which
there.
I've never seen before.
And what you're looking at is
They're gorgeous.
what the park would have looked like during, say, Henry VIII when they hunted deer. And this has always been a wonderful example of how parks work with nature and trying to
Yeah.
preserve nature. And this is a real
There's a
credit
stag
to
there.
yeah, this is a real credit to Greenwich Park, and all kudos to them because the trees that are in there, they're absolutely incredible.
They're really old.
The wildlife in the tree, and yet, although we are fenced off.
Yeah, but this is normal fencing for the deer park, isn't
Yeah,
it?
this is normal fencing, and it's always been like this anyway. But it's just absolutely wonderful and incredible. And this is what a park is. It's not about using it for corporate interest, which is what's being done over there. Yeah, I just kind of want to... You can see how nature works if Angie...
Yeah, so I'm
hands
trying not
over
to
to-
jiggle it. When I zoom in, it jiggles about all over the place.
to where this water's laid. This is just like normal rainwater.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed that's gone now was dragonflies were actually flying over the water. Unfortunately, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the deer park in Greenwich. Come to Greenwich Park. Come to the garden, the flower garden,
Magpie.
and come and see the deer.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. The squirrels and the deer. And obviously they don't need feeding because they're fed by... Oh yeah.
By a ranger.
Yeah. On the pigeon one there.
Okay. Okay, that's the deer park. Over and out. Okay, we're on. 48 minutes left.
Still being followed by squirrels. Unfortunately,
We're going to come again, maybe
I
next
didn't realise
week.
there was going to be a problem with the squirrels. I didn't know how hungry. They're obviously quite hungry. And it
Oh,
is-
bless, look!
You know, we've
Because you're
had
holding your
about-
hand out, he thinks you're going to feed him.
We've had about 25 squirrels doing exactly the same thing as this.
Yeah, they've
although-
been following us.
Yeah, although the squirrels are...
Like-
although the squirrels are... They do this in the park. They are obviously...
I've never seen them quite like this before.
So they are being affected. And also, you know, animals are very sensitive to change.
Yeah.
They must be noticing that there is a change in the volume of people
Yeah, absolutely.
in the park.
Yeah.
So that's the garden. The view from the main gate, or not the view from the main gate, but where you come in from the main gate, and that is the fencing probably hear the noise.
Yes.
The building's still going on. So we're going to wander up and we're just going to observe, once again, a magnificent tree. Energy is absolutely fabulous.
Wow. Look at the bark on that. It looks really smooth.
Really, it's a huge tree. Absolutely incredible. Canopy is
Gorgeous.
wonderful.
Oak again. Well, we have to try, even if we fail.
This tree is like
I have a question. Yeah, that's not a recent lop though. That looks like that's quite a long time ago.
it has been cut back.
Yeah.
You know, obviously coming to the park on a regular basis, that tree's been trimmed back. I don't know what for.
I have an interesting point of observation. If it's taken them, I know it usually takes less time to take things down than it does to put them up. But if it's taken them this long to put everything up, the park's not going to be back to normal for, well, they're saying November, aren't they, I think, for the park to be fully open properly.
I think it's like anything. It's not so much how long it's going to take to put the park
Well, it's the
back.
inconvenience.
Well, they have to put the park back because it is a public park, but it's like it's like in your life. You know, if you have something that is intrusive in your life, it takes a
Well,
long
it sets
time.
you back.
Yeah, it takes a long time to recover from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's an example of that. You know, that. Well, we can see with, just for example, the squirrels, that they are very hungry. They're used to people, tourists coming in. There's usually somebody selling nuts in a cabin here, or people bring their own nuts and feed the squirrels. But I'm just kind of, you know, this is the kind of trees that I'm talking about. You know,
Wow, look at that. That's amazing.
when we look, if we just pan back to that,
Hang
when we
on,
look
I'm just
at-
panning that tree because it is immense.
when we look at what has been put up, all this fencing.
Yeah.
This is actually the fencing that is part of the flower garden. There should be a notice, which is here, which actually says the flower garden.
Let's
Please
try to
be
get that.
aware of.
I don't know if you can see that. I don't know.
She's there. Can't really see that.
Probably can't really see that.
And then we pan back, and this is what the park is all about. These magnificent trees in here.
Yeah.
Magnificent wildlife. We have a crow that's walking down here. There are various different birds, various different species of plant. I mean, look at this. I mean, this is wonderful.
Here he is. Hello, Mr. Crow.
This is I've got what we call the shape. This is flower
Well,
of
that's
life,
the
isn't
flower of life, isn't it?
it? Which is repeated in nature everywhere. We have another magnificent tree, but we're going to focus on that tree there.
And we've got lilies.
Lily's there. But look how magnificent that tree is. And we're going to go straight.
Lilies somewhere there. Wow. I'm just going to get a photo of that. No, can't do that with this one. Can't get a photo of that when the video's running.
See the size of the tree. It's obviously
It's a massive tree. That's huge.
how many people come here for healing, but this tree will certainly give you some healing. Some
I'm not
light.
sure what sort of tree that is.
Well, they're only labels anyway.
Yeah, true.
As I say, I'm not a botanist and I'm not a arborist, but it's a tree. I know it's a tree. I can see it's a tree. It doesn't need a name. It's magnificent. And kudos to the tree. I'm sure if they could, they would ask the trees to leave.
Yeah. And I would love it if the trees suddenly thought, do you know what, we've had enough of this shit. We're gonna do something about it. And they were kind of like ents, so they got up and they went bish
I wouldn't
bash
argue
bosh.
with that tree if it started to move.
If that tree right, could slap you in the face for chopping off one of its limbs, you wouldn't argue with it, would you? You would not chop off its limbs.
Absolutely not. And it actually echoes in here. There's an echo.
Yeah.
Hello. There's actually quite a nice piece of acoustics there. Hello. Amazing. So yeah, that's a beautiful tree. So anyway, we're going to cut off again because we've got to think about time on our camcorder. We're going to walk round, follow the fence round. We're going to go to another entrance to the park, which is a little bit further through. We'll film a little bit of the lake that's in the flower garden. So yeah, yogi piece out for seconds and we come back to you.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Please excuse the chinook overhead.
It's not,
no,
this is
that's
different.
not a chinook.
So this is, I don't know,
It's just a bog
another
standard
buzzing
helicopter.
noise.
Yeah, surveillance.
As I say, this is intrusive. It's continually helicopters flying over all the time. Yeah, we just kind of walk down to the lake, and we have an important area for ducks and geese. Don't know if they have any swans here. Fish and so on. And it's just, people come and feed the ducks. So when people come to this park, they feed the squirrels, they feed the ducks, and they go and see the deer. And it's a family thing, and it's free. And that's why it's the people's park. And
I know what you mean. I agree completely.
I think it is a concern. I am slightly concerned that the people not coming here, not feeding the squirrels, is going to affect their community. But I assume that the park keepers obviously will be concerned about their squirrels, the squirrel population, and certainly their duck population. They've probably got something in place to make sure that they have enough food. But yeah, there's hardly anybody here. I've seen, on a normal day, I would probably see, walking through the park, 50 or 60 people as I walk through, and then probably 100 people just laying around on blankets.
Yeah, you get
and
people,
and stuff like that.
on a day like this you'd have
I have
people
seen
lying in the grass.
literally, I think 10 people. Yeah, literally 10 people. I've seen very few tourists. They've mainly been local residents. I think I've seen 2 groups of tourists that have been here. But yeah, just another beautiful part of Greenwich Park, which is in the flower garden, surrounded by these magnificent trees again, shrubs and wildlife, and even the pigeons. The pigeons usually here are fed all the time. They're pretty bored. They're usually asking for food, but today they're just kind of chilling out.
Chilling in the sun.
Yeah. So. So anyway, we're going to walk up to the other main gate and just have a look at our last part of the park, which is occupied.
Like a pigeon party going on the railing there. Pigeon party.
Pigeon hut, which is occupied by the.
It's occupied. I like that. Your shoelaces sometimes.
Yeah, sorry to take my shoes because my feet are hot. I'm walking on the grass because I love to walk barefooted. Yeah, this is the fence. This is the original fence. This is the original fence here, which is the boundary of the flower garden. And I'll show you that this fence goes beyond where that fence is, and
where the big blue fence is.
Yeah, and show you that they have taken some of the flower garden. So we're going to walk up. It's really, when it's quiet in here, when there isn't any noises of building going on or helicopters go over, you can hear a police siren in the background. It's a pretty quiet place. So it is very intrusive what's going on here.
Pardon me.
side of the tree. Come to Greenwich Park. Down the side of the tree.
Yeah, come to the flower garden. Show them that we will not be discouraged.
Look at this one.
Wow, look at
I
that.
mean, absolutely not that
It's a
many of the other trees are
stripy
not.
tree, but that one's stripy. That's amazing.
There's another one down there. You know, and if you want to donate any money towards Greenwich Park or any of the London parks, do so, because we don't have much of this left. We have to learn that it needs to be protected. So
And if it ever comes to pass that someone tries to do this again, which I wouldn't put it past these big corporates to try. Now, it's been done once, like I said yesterday. Campaign against it. Do not let it happen again.
another variety of tree. You can see it grows in, it doesn't grow up, it grows out.
Wow.
And it's called, what's it called? Latin.
That's Latin.
It's,
Circus siliquastrum. I probably said that completely wrong. I'm sure someone will correct me.
You know, for any artists that want to sketch, any photographers, anybody that wants to find out about nature, we're coming down to more fencing. So as you can see, we are in the flower garden.
Yeah.
So as you can, it looks like that that's not the flower garden, but it is. So my argument is, well, I'm not arguing, I'm not arguing with anybody, but my point is that that's the flower garden. So
Yeah.
not all the flower garden is open.
No.
So we're just going to wander up and see what the access is, and where people can walk and
I
where
think
they
that
can't.
just goes back round, doesn't it? To where we were.
Just throwing the fencing up. So yeah, if I can just highlight these are the gates. These gates here are the exit to this park, this flower garden. Sorry.
Yeah.
And the fence, if you can see, does carry on, but what this is going to be part of the riding course because they've made a gap.
Yeah, they've taken the fence out.
It's going.
haven't they?
You can see they've actually.
Yeah,
cut the
they've-
grass. It looks like it's going to be part of the cross-country course,
Yeah.
but it is part of the flower garden. If you can just pan in where that fence goes round, because the flower garden is fenced in by this fencing, always has been, and it must probably be put back when they're finished. So the only reason they could be taking that piece of fencing down is to have horses coming through there. So they are using the flower garden as part of.
That's where they've chopped the fence off there.
So
bit hard
not
to
all the
see.
flower garden is open. Do I think that's right? Do I think that's wrong? I don't really have an opinion on it. I just
You can
think
see where the
it's-
course goes because it's enclosed by the white
it's
stakes
the
with the
access
orange.
that I'm
Yeah.
concerned about. We don't
Yeah.
have that. So yeah, they will be using the flower garden. As you can see, it's amazing difference.
Ferns, my
Amazing
favourite.
ferns. These things are not what you would see.
Beautiful. Colours in that. Orange and green. Not orange and green. I'm very colourblind. Purple and green. People say I'm colourblind when I say that purple and green go together, but nature thinks they do. No, 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 no.
So it's just a beautiful place. And I think if I worked here, I think I would.
Got a
I don't
pigeon in
think
the
there's,
face.
there's not an eagle. It's like an eagle. I think I'd be very upset if I worked here
Yeah.
from a working point of view. As a person that uses the park on a regular basis, I'm extremely upset. So yeah, just wanted to kind of highlight that.
That squirrel.
That is definitely the flower garden now.
Yeah, which we cannot
We can't
get into.
access all of it.
No.
Because I've walked around it many times. I'm just going to peace out for a minute, sit down. put my
Yogi,
shoes
peace
on,
out.
Because I'm walking on. Yeah, this is, as a kid, I used to come here, and this is the Robin Hood tree that I was talking about.
Look at that.
And you used to sit underneath it and pretend you was Robin Hood. Because it's like a big tent.
Yeah.
You can climb it, and get up quite high. And it's quite, when you're a small kid, it's quite difficult to climb. But a wonderful climbing tree, but also like a big tent. And you feel like Robin Hood in Sherwood Forest. But no, we don't have access to it. It's shut off. Yeah. I don't know why it's growing up there. I don't know if that's been pruned back, because if you can see around the outside of it here, it's kind of odd. I don't know. That's probably quite normal, but
Yeah.
it's strange. But yeah, that's the tree that I was talking about. That's the Robin Hood tree that I remember as a kid, and playing under many times, and yeah, pretending I was Robin Hood.
Cool.
So, yeah. Okay, which is basically finishing. Just following the fence. We're just talking about the kind of different ways that being able to think. And I personally don't have a problem with horses and horses riding in the country and so on. They're magnificent creatures. I love horses, and I know Andrew loves horses as well.
Yeah.
But it's just the access. It's the access to.
And this park is not geared up for equestrian events. Wow, look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is what kind of
That's
sums
gorgeous.
up Greenwich Park. It's just these random, beautiful flowers that
Yeah.
just kind of pop up anywhere.
They're there.
Or if
They're just
specific-
there. Hello, I'm here.
If they're specifically planted, and also this kind of forest land as well that is in.
Yeah.
Which they.
You wouldn't think there'd be like a little bit of like woodland in Greenwich Park, but there you have it.
But it's not the point of that. Really, for us, it's not the point of that. The Olympics is here, because the Olympics is here. It's the Olympics is here, and I'm not allowed in. I am not allowed in the park
Because the big corporate company says,
and if I climb over there,
yeah,
onto the other side, yeah, I don't know what would happen. I don't know if I'd be arrested. I don't know if I would be just asked to leave the park. I don't know if I would be accused of being something that I'm not. I don't know what would happen. But these fences are here to keep out what? I don't know what they're to keep out.
terrorists.
Well, no.
Sorry, a bit facetious.
I mean, that's one aspect of it, but surely this is more about ticket sales. Surely this is more about, who can come in.
If your name's not down, you're not coming in.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's very much overkill. Because if you do have,
It is big time overkill.
if you do have,
Are we going the right way to go? Because I'm getting really thirsty, and it took us ages to get round. It took us ages to get round. That's all. And I
if
think
you do
we're
have
short of time.
terrorist attack, I don't think they're going to come through the flower garden. I really don't believe that. And if they were, surely it's better to have, security guards around there, and not this fencing. And you actually don't need the fencing. One of the things we were discussing was you don't actually need the fencing because Greenwich is surrounded by a big wall.
Yeah.
So you actually don't need any fencing whatsoever. All you need is people around the outer walls if you're that in fear of some form of attack. But that's my point. My point is, if there is that kind of mentality, then why on earth are we hosting something which potentially could be disastrous for London? I personally would say, great idea, thanks, but no thank you.
Yeah.
If it means all this. But hey, who am I?
Yogi, police out. Hang on. You're on.
Okay, that's the completion. I'm feeling. I think one of the things about Yogi Police is we always work on how we feel, and we are quite emotional people, and we react to that. And my feeling after the last 2 days is, I feel quite low and pretty upset about what's going on. We've just come out of the park, and I don't know. I personally found it very sad to have that restriction. I didn't realise how much that would affect me, but it has affected me, and I'm not happy with what's going on. But yeah, as I say, there's 2 different sides to the story. If you love the Olympics and athletics and any of that kind of stuff, then this is, and well, certainly if you love equestrian, and I like equestrian as well. I do. I have enjoyed watching horses ride and stuff like that on TV. I've never been to a TV myself, but I love horses. Being near horses, especially in Thames where we have, which is a brilliant project, because we have lots of gypsies on Thamesmead who keep horses, and it's a really good scheme where the local authorities use the gypsies' horses to keep the grass quite short, and it's a really good relationship. I don't know how it works, their relationship, but they have permission, if the grass is slightly overgrown and they want it trimmed, to put their horses in it. It's a really good relationship, and I think that's what life is about. It's about how not to get rid of nature, not how to use it, how to bring it
Symbiotic.
It's symbiotic, and that's a really good. And this isn't symbiotic. But I'm not going to go on. I think we've tried to give you as much visual evidence as we possibly can of what has been done. I'm giving you, obviously, a slightly biased opinion. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Yogi Police out.
Yogi Police out.